All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Glendale Housing Authority meeting for July 16th, 2024, being called to order at 3:02 p.m. May we have roll call, please?
Authority member Ojinian,
Here.
Asadrian,
Here.
Brotman,
Here.
Garpetian,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Parazian, Cherkasakian.
Here. May we have your report, please?
The agenda for the July 16th, 2024 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on July 11th, 2024 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. And next, we have approval of minutes for the regular Housing Authority meeting and joint Housing Authority and Council meeting from June 4th and June 25th. Do we have a motion for approving the minutes?
I'll move.
Okay, moved by Member Parazian. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, you said June 4th and 25th?
June 4th and June 25th, yes, as listed on the agenda.
I'll
Okay,
second.
and seconded by Member Brotman. If there's no objections, can we just have them approved by acclamation?
That's correct.
All right, so minutes will stand approved. And next is oral communication. Have any cards been submitted, or has anyone called in to speak?
There are no cards and no one has called in for this item.
Okay, with that, the only other thing left on the agenda is I'll turn to my colleagues and ask if there are any authority member or staff comments. Okay,
None for
seeing-
me. Well,
Going once, going
I
twice,
do.
all right, Member Najarian.
Perhaps we can get some information on the crime that we just learned about of someone claiming to be a housing authority member and obtaining money from applicants. Is there any information that can be given, or is this a ongoing investigation, or?
Don't have housing authority in Jordan. We don't have a person from housing in attendance, but Chief Sid, whose department been involved in the investigation and arrest, can provide some update.
All right,
Good
thank you.
afternoon, Mayor, Council. As the city manager touched on, it's an ongoing investigation, so I don't want to dive too deep into it. Since that press release went out, we've had more potential victims step forward, so we're working through it. But in short, code enforcement and our housing folks did a really good job in collaboration with our detectives to identify an individual who's at this point alleged and now going to be charged with defrauding folks as it relates to housing funding and whatnot. But again, I think there'll be more details to come. I don't want to dive too deep into the details and the how, what, when, in light of the fact that we've had a handful of more potential victims step forward.
All right, thank you very much. Chief, any questions?
Mr. Chair, I think I would, it'd be appropriate for you as the chair to perhaps issue some sort of statement from the authority that we don't seek funding. If anyone approaches you claiming to have an in the process, that is not acceptable.
Yes, Member Ojini.
Yeah, Peter Zovak might have more about this than anything else. The article was in the paper, the Glendale paper, and ironically, I read it today. And there's a little bit more information about this, and it is an ongoing investigation. Yes.
And we did, Mr. Chair, we did issue a press release, and in that particular press release, there was a warning about not accepting assistance or providing any cash or payment to unsolicited offers such as this person had done in 3 languages.
Thank you, Member Alsatrian.
I was going to mention the press release that went out, but I think it's been an ongoing issue of misinformation that's in the community. So perhaps we can also use this opportunity to put out some publications on our social media and however else we're communicating, especially with seniors. I know that one of those is people thinking that they have to pay to get assistance with filling out the applications and so forth, and that is not the case. And so it would be helpful to have some community education. I know that I've seen time and again, and I'll tell you, I think there was a surge during COVID that I saw, especially not just with housing, but individuals and going on social media claiming that they can assist individuals with SBA loan applications and so forth, and then asking for, funds in return for their services. So,
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Well, I'll just say that I think that all of the members' comments are well-received and on point. Definitely every instance like this, as unfortunate as it is also an opportunity for us to educate and make it a teachable moment for the public. Of course, as the chief mentioned, it's an ongoing investigation. Not much about this specific instance can be shared with the public, but we also, and I would also say that we should be careful about generally how closely we talk about certain topics if there are other ongoing investigations that could result in the arrest and charging of other individuals, because certainly I would assume that we hope that this is an isolated case, but as Councilmember Asatryan mentioned, we hear about these instances a lot, and one of the difficult parts of trying to address the issue is that oftentimes the victims, who are themselves perhaps initially partaking in an activity that either they knowingly or unknowingly are partaking in an illegal activity of trying to circumvent legal processes, are reluctant to come forward. So I'm glad to hear that there are individuals coming forward. I see the chief approaching the podium. Please.
Just to add in right on line with your point, as of this morning, I've been told we've had a dozen more potential victims come forward. I think it speaks to when folks see this in the paper, you know, they're essentially being educated to it that they may be the victim of something. So we're working through it. Still an ongoing investigation, as I touched on, but a dozen folks as of this morning.
And some of it, you know, could be associated with shame, embarrassment that they were fooled into this, but certainly there's also opportunities for people to come forward, at least anonymously, to report instances of fraud and trying to defraud our system. So I think it's definitely warrants a discussion. Maybe we can have a staff as well as from housing department or division, as well as police, come and give us a report about what other instances for people to look out for.
We can certainly do that.
Thanks. All right. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second? All right. Motion made by Member Asatryan, seconded by Garpetian. We stand adjourned at 3:09 PM. Thank you.